Hey guys, welcome to Allies Index Test Drive. I'm Toxic, and with me is Seb.
How are we doing?
And today we are going over, oh my god, what's it called again? The Tau X107 R'varna? Yes? No? Yeah.
Ravana, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. The big scary Tau battlesuit that's kind of like a Riptide variant from Forge World. Now, first opinions on this, Seb? As I bring up some pictures here on that.
It's a scary behemoth. It's quite quite pretty. As far as Tau goes, I'm not a huge lover of the whole Tau aesthetic. Like big mechas are cool, but you know me, I like my heretics and evil things a lot more. But it's definitely a scary bastard.
Yeah, I like this one because it does have that sleek, almost like stealth suit feel to it for a Riptide. Like the cockpit actually looks like a stealth suit, like has been put into the Riptide. Originally, that's what I thought it was, like this giant, um, Riptide stealth fusion. And I was like, yes, this is gonna be sweet. He's gonna be stealthing around the field, and it's not like that, but it's still pretty devastating and amazing. So yeah.
I kind of think maybe the reason it kind of looks that way is just reading the fluff of it, and it says that basically they plowed funding that was supposed to be going to stealth suits into this suit. So yeah, maybe they tried to pretend that it was more stealthy than it actually is. But what it's really used for is blasting massive chunks into Tyranids.
It blasts massive chunks into anything, really.
Yeah, but yeah, well, apparently it was defending the Sept on Oshan, sorry, Kelshan. Yeah, Kelshan from Tyranids. Good times.
So how about we go over some of the rules there? Let's take a look. So first of all, it's 260 points, which Seb, what do you think? And again, these rules they're not, what's the word? Like they're the rules for it, but they're subject to change. I guess they're like the beta versions of the rules that Forge World release.
The old experimental, not yet imperially sanctioned.
Yes, exactly. And 260 points. So it's a little bit more expensive than a Land Raider. How does that clock in compared to a normal Riptide? Let me take a look at my codex here. Seb, you want to say something about the points cost for it? See if you think that's
Well,
fair.
I was looking at some of the discussion online. People are saying that, like, well, obviously these are the experimental rules. It could well be going up. It's like the Forge World Land Raider variant was 275, and ended up 325. So there could always be a bit of scope for it going up in price, but it definitely packs a punch for the money. I'll definitely put it that way. Or for the points value, it definitely is giving some devastation.
Yeah,
But we'll get to that a little bit more in a moment.
exactly. Yeah, like without giving too much away, I believe that you could even add, 75 to 100 points onto this thing and still have it be worth its money. But the Riptide itself, just a regular old Riptide, the XV104, is 180 points. So how would you say, if when you're looking at this, when you're looking at this Riptide, and you're thinking, well, do I get this one or do I get a normal Riptide? Do you think that the points cost is, you would actually pay that more to get this version rather than the original one?
I might have said beforehand, it seems like a lot more, but after seeing it in action, the Riptide's always scary, like the one over the XV104. But yeah, when we start saying how this actually worked in the field, those 80 points definitely seem to be working towards some bigger hitting, and definitely seem to be worth the money.
Right. And not to mention, you can also upgrade it with items from the support systems list in Codex Tau Empire. I know I took it with the whatever that gave him Feel No Pain, so I think I clocked in at over 300 points on this guy. And he can also take up to two shielded missile drones at 25 points each. So you can really make this guy closer to like 400 points if you want it to be. Not to mention if they up the points, you could be looking at 500 points for like a fully kitted out version of this guy.
It's a one-man army.
Yeah, and it's so let's take a look at the stats. We got 2 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, 6 strength, 7 toughness, 6 wounds, 2 initiative, 3 attacks, 9 leadership, 2 up save. So it stays on track with the Tau stat lines. Obviously not the Fire Warrior stat lines. They don't have 7 toughness, but the low weapon skill, relatively low ballistic skill, low initiative.
Just a little bit, one extra on the toughness, one extra on the wounds, which is always nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice stat line for the points cost for the model itself. There's nothing really in there that jumps out apart from the wounds and the toughness. And the 3 attacks, honestly. You're a monstrous creature, you have 3 attacks, you got low initiative and you have low weapon skill, but you have 7 toughness and 6 wounds with 3 attacks. You can do some close combating killiness right there.
Which is something I know you definitely want in your Tau.
It is, honestly.
The old point of contention.
Yeah, like you got a demon prince coming towards you. Well, I'll just, I'll throw my Riptide at it and see what I can do. I'm probably going to die, but I'm probably going to hold it up for a little bit. And this, another big thing on the rules here, the XV107 is a heavy support choice in Codex Tau Empire, which is huge, because a normal Riptide is an elite choice.
Oh, dear.
So now you're looking at 3 regular Riptides and 3 of these guys you could potentially put into your Tau army. So that's something that surprised me. I thought it was going to be the same, and so you either take either or, but they're kind of giving the option to take, both.
I'm genuinely terrified at the prospect of that.
Right. So it's the R'varna is a monstrous creature, like I mentioned before. Let's see, its warrior is a R'varna battlesuit. 2 pulse sub-munitions cannons, and integrated shield generator. Then they have the special rules of Nova Reactor, R'varna class, and supporting fire. Supporting fire, obviously the same rule that the Tau get, where they can, within the 6 inches of someone getting charged, they can shoot at the charger. So let's see. So Seb, did you want to go over some of the special rules on that, or do you want me to take it from there?
Yeah, I've talked about some of the more special rules. We're going to talk about the pulse submunition cannons, which is unlike the standard pulse weapons. They are powerful cannon fire, sophisticated micro submunitions that detonate in proximity to the target in a storm of separate pulse discharges, which kind of blinding you with a bit of Tau science there. But massive is the answer. So its range is 60 inches, strength 6, AP 3. It's heavy 1, large blast, 5 inches, cluster fire. Now, cluster fire is where it gets disgusting. So, cluster fire, very bulky vehicles, as well as those with jet bike, beast, cavalry type, suffer 2 hits from this weapon at an increased strength of 7 for each one. Extremely bulky, so artillery, monstrous creatures, flying monstrous creatures, and vehicles. Models now take 3 hits per hit, and an additional strength of 8. Which is just disgusting. And fortifications. So yeah, the bigger it is, the harder it will fall. And blimey, does that work?
Yeah, it's really the only weapon I can think of that scales to your target. Let's talk about, just for these guns here, let's talk about when it was firing at your Defiler. And I think I got a picture of that in the game here that we had. Let me get that up. There we go, it's up now. So Seb, I'll let you talk about when I first opened up on that Defiler.
So you Nova charged it, I believe, and you fired. You had 2 misses and 2 hits, which turned into 6 hits with 4 penetrating hits, blowing it to absolute smithereens before it even kind of got to stretch its tentacular legs. Yeah.
Yes.
Sad times for him.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just boggles my mind. Like the bigger the target is, the better your weapon is gonna be, and it's insane. And I like it. I like the fluff behind the gun. I like the reason behind why it affects bigger targets more. And I think I think it's a great gun. It's powerful as anything. It's insanely powerful, and I may even go as far as to say overpowered. But it's just a fun weapon to use. At least that's what I found using it. It probably wasn't fun for Seb.
I'm imagining all the pretty detonations in my mind was quite fun, but yeah, watching the model be taken away was sad. But
Yep.
yeah, do you want to talk about the ability choices it has if you bring the Nova reactor into it?
Yep. Let's do it. Okay. Let me bring up those rules here. There we go. So the Nova reactor, much like any the Nova reactor on the regular Riptide, is you declare that you're using it in the movement phase. You roll a d6, 1 or 2. It fails and suffers a wound. On a 3+, you get to pick one of these abilities. The Nova Shield. Both of the model's invulnerable saves are increased to a 3+ against both shooting and close combat attacks. Volley fire. The model's pulse submunition cannon can each be fired twice. Even though these weapons are fired twice, each still only counts as firing a single weapon. All models within, and then you get electromagnetic shockwave. All models within 6 inches of the R'varna's base, enemy and friendly, suffer an immediate single strength 2 AP5 hit with the Haywire type, which is something that I didn't really have to use. But if you think about that, like jumping him into a whole bunch of what do you call them? A whole bunch of vehicles, and then just doing that, and just using Haywire to shock the vehicles to death. Interesting tactic.
Definitely.
Then you got flank speed. The model gains the fleet special rule when making a run move. The controlling player rolls 2d6 to determine the distance moved instead of just 1. And that's all for the Nova reactor, which I only used the volley fire. I was very aggressive. I didn't really worry about having to deal with taking incoming damage, so I never really used the shield, which I find most people are probably going to use volley fire. Really, I mean, what do you think about those special abilities? I guess.
Well, the electromagnetic shockwave sounds good, as you said. Like you're jumping that in and just tasering everything to pieces. The flank speed could be handy if you want to get it into that position for electromagnetic wave. But I'm kind of with you. The volley fire is what you want because it's those pulse submunitions cannons that are disgusting, and it's that what you want to be blasting everything to pieces with. So I think that's the one everyone's gonna be really going with.
Exactly. Yeah. It's insane. Like you have this gun, and now you could fire that gun twice, and you have 2 of them. Like it's
Having
insane.
flashbacks is horrible.
Flashbacks. Well, speaking of flashbacks, let's take a look at this next pitch that I have of the game. There, I believe this is when I fired it at your what are they called? Plague drones.
Oh yes, and again, so that's going to be the whether the jet bike cavalry, aren't they? So
Yep, and then
2 hits for each
bulky
one.
or
That's 7.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they are bulky as well. Yeah. So again, they're just getting shredded to pieces. Yeah. And I don't think I actually got anything anywhere near it, which was the kind of sad thing. Maybe if I had managed to swamp it at some point, I could have done some damage. But I believe you did a bit of damage with it though.
Yeah, this is the thing that I've always said about the Riptide. That, and I've said this like since I've seen the test rules, is that it's only really effective when you're Nova charging it, and you're Nova charging it every turn. There's probably about there's about 6 turns. You probably because you can have 5 or 7 turn games, but you're probably going to have about 6 turns a game. If you're Nova charging that every turn, you're going to take at least 2 wounds. Just statistically, you roll that d6, you're going to get a 1 or a 2. At least 2 times. You should at least. You might get lucky. So you're going from 6 wounds to 4 wounds just if you're going to be Nova charging every turn, which I am definitely going to be because I want to be doing as much damage as I can. So I can't remember how many wounds did I end up doing 3 or 2 wounds to myself?
I think it was 3, but that was in the course of 6 turns.
Yeah.
So
So I did the most damage to it, and I was the controlling player. I took away half my wounds just from Nova charging. Now going back to what I said about when my original thought for the Riptide was that it's only going to be effective when it Nova charges. I don't really believe that anymore. I believe it can still be effective without Nova charging, but Nova charging is part of its. It feels like, why would you not? Unless you're on 1 wound or 2 wounds, maybe. Why would you not go for it? Would you agree there? Like, why would you not Nova charge?
Definitely, like you're gonna like the benefits outweigh the chance of taking a wound. I think definitely, but with the R'varna, like there's always I think even more than the standard Riptide gives you the pulse submunitions cannon is definitely an option that will still work and still packs a hell of a hit even if you don't overcharge it. So it's a little bit more varied, I think, with this one. If there are someone is actually doing some wounds to you, unfortunately, yeah, I kind of let Papa Nagel down and didn't really inflict any wounds.
That's really it. It's like if you're taking a lot of fire, you probably won't want to risk it because you don't want to. If I have 6 wounds and I know I'm probably going to lose 3 on your turn, like if you have some really long range fire, I'm gonna get hit. I probably don't want to Nova charge and then be down even more. So it's a risk, but honestly, the reward that you get from rolling a 3 or higher with the R'varna is worth it. No doubt it's worth it.
Definitely. Honestly, it would be a shame if you were going for the Nova Shield though and ended up wounding yourself.
It happens. But any other thoughts on our game?
Well, just generally, Demon's Tau does not seem like the best thing to put against each other. I think I kind of chose them just because I wanted to see how the Tau would end up with them, and I kind of hoped that with the plate bearers and stuff, I might have some sticking power and staying alive, but not under the the kind of salvos of submunitions.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
because the bulkier you get, the bigger you get, the better the guns get towards you. Well, not necessarily the better they get, but the more capable they are at taking you down. So really, when you're firing at just a regular old, Space Marine, compared to like some, big old Demon Prince, the effectiveness of the gun doesn't change because it's going to scale to the target, which is, again, it's an amazing weapon. And if we were looking at this, like, not in the forms of a game where the games have to be balanced. If you were looking at it just on the shareability of a weapon, then it's insane. Everyone should have one. It's a great piece of technology, but because it's a game and things have to be balanced, it may take a hit when the actual rules come out for this. But yeah, that's my thoughts at least. Like it's an amazing gun, and the rules are great for it. They're fun to play. The fluff behind them is fun. It is powerful.
It's a beast.
But I find if they don't change the ruling for it, it's gonna get a points increase. It's gonna go to a plus 300 points.
But that's definitely what people have been saying on the boards and things. Definitely going to get points up, and people complaining that it is too OP. But the things with the Forge World models and the kind of experimental rules, that they are supposed to be a bit of fun and to get a bit of a gauge. And the gauge is that it is a lot of fun and it is absolutely epic and devastating. So yeah, maybe the points should go up. but it's still, yeah, a lot of fun to have. and it feels like what it is. It's an experimental, crazy Tau tech battle suit, and it's firing crazy plasma, exploding submunitions, and executing things, and yeah, just doing what Tau do, blowing things to pieces.
Yep. And it's really what Forge will do. They make awesome models, but they need to sell those models. And to sell those models with the higher price tag, they need to be good models. They're not going to put something out there that people are going to be like, it's overpriced, it's not as good, it's not, really worth the points costs. There's really no point in having one, because they make... Games Workshop makes models too, but they make whole armies. Forge World makes these nice kind of... I don't know, like, I want to say some fancy car name, but nothing comes to mind. But they make, like, the fancy cars of the car world kind of thing. Like, they are good. That is why you get Forge World ones, because they are good models, good quality models, with great rules to go with them. And they're just they spice up the game a little bit. So I guess... No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you're shelling out the kind of the Forge World prices, and you're like, you're gonna kind of be in the game enough to know that this is the kind of thing you want to buy, and you're gonna know that it's gonna be a bit of fun. And it's like, obviously, like with experimentals, it's not tournament worthy or anything yet. Like, it's it's something to
you're gonna play with your friends
to
against,
justify the price tag,
and you're gonna be playing against friends because they're not gonna let you play it in a tournament.
Yeah.
And if you're taking this against friends, guess what your friends are going to do? They're going to get their own model to go up against it. So it's not like you're going to be taking it to a Games Workshop store, going up against some 12-year-old kid with his first starter army, and that's not what's going to happen. You're going to be bringing it to your friend's house or your local gaming store, and you're going to be going up against your friends who are going to have good armies themselves. It's a bit of fun. It's going with my metaphor before. It's kind of like it's the Riptide, like, Tau unit for a Tau player in a midlife crisis. Like, it's it's flashy, it's expensive, but you get what you pay for.
What am I doing in my life? Do I set up my own enclave, or do I get myself a Riptide R'varna?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. It is the old Tau Bugatti.
It honestly, it pretty much is. It's just it's an expensive, rare kind of thing you won't see often. But if you have one, it's good. But yeah, any final thoughts that you have on this?
It's a rather epic, rather beautiful thing. I'm not a big Tau guy. I don't particularly like the Tau that much, so it's not something that I'll be getting. But if you are a Tau person and you have the money and you want a bit of fun, I would definitely recommend this as something that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and upset your friends.
Yeah. I mean, me and Tau have a love-hate relationship. They were my first army, kinda, and I've never had great success with them. But with the new codex, they are pretty amazing right now, and the new models are amazing. And if you're a Tau player and you can spring for one of these, it'd be a great model to have in your army, no matter what the points cost goes to. If they bump this thing up to 400 points, you're not going to bring it in a lot of games because it's 400 points, but you can have a lot of fun playing with it. It's just that type of model. It doesn't matter what the points cost is. You're going to make room for it because it's just a fun model to play. You're going to make room for that in your army.
Definitely, and I think just going on from what you just said, you made me think that this would be, if it became more of an accepted thing, it could be quite disgusting in Apocalypse. Like, yeah, lots of big models, lots of big hits.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's Apocalypse. That's what you need. That's what you need. But yeah, so I guess that's our final say on it. I guess it's one of those. If you can afford it, if you're a Tau player, get one because you're gonna have a lot of fun. Most importantly, you're gonna have fun playing with it. Like it's not like we're saying get this because it's gonna make your Tau army worth playing. Get this because you're gonna have fun playing with it. It's gonna be enjoyable. And that's really all I can say. It's a nice model. It's fun to play. you know, if you can get one, definitely.
And £20 more than the standard Riptide. I think it's £20 more fun.
Yeah, I honestly think that too. It is. It is. Yeah, I can definitely agree there. So I think that's kind of our final verdict on it. Is if you're a Tau player, pick one up. You're not going to regret it. And if you're not a Tau player, well, you pray that you don't have to verse one.
Definitely.
But before we head off, Seb, is there anything that you would like to add to this little video that we're going to be putting up?
No, just to say that we're going to be doing a few more of these. If anyone particularly wants to see us trying something out, they can always let us know on the Alice Index Tumblr. But yeah, it's good to be back making videos with you and chatting about Warhammer and models and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Definitely. Tell us anything, really. It doesn't have to be Warhammer. 40k is what we find easiest because we're able to use Vassal and we're able to, we know the rules. But really, anything, we'll find a way to test drive something. So if you want to see a Warhammer Fantasy model, tell us. We'll figure out a way. It might not be Seb and myself. We may have to get someone else to. But we'll figure out a way. War Machine, anything. If we have to get an Infinity, we'll get, Cousin Boris to help us out. We'll figure out a way so it doesn't have to be 40k. Once again, check us out on, you probably already see it from Allies Index, the, .com, our Tumblr. But we also have Facebook, Twitter,
and YouTube.
You're the social media man for that. But yeah, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, right?
Where are all the social media places?
Yeah. So yeah, most of the stuff gets posted there. But if you can't get on Tumblr from your phone, there's no excuse. You can Twitter from your phone or something like that. I don't know. I don't have a smartphone, so I don't know how things work. But But yeah, also, so we'll be getting some more videos up. I know I'm going to be doing a weekly kind of wrap-up video, where at the end of the week, at the start of the week, I'm going to kind of go over what's been going on with Allies Index for that week.
You busting freestyles.
Yeah, I'm going to have, random people join me. Anyone that's there can join me. So you never know who you might see, or yeah. So I think that's about it. Any last words, Seb?
Nope. Thank you for watching, and thank you for. If anyone wants to get involved with Aliens Index, just let us know, and we're happy to share, do anything, or if you want to get involved in kind of testing or anything, you can always let us know.
Okay. So once again, with me was Seb, and I'm Toxic. Yes, I am wearing a dog suit. And have a good day.